Hey, welcome to Boomer versus X. You wanted the best, now you've got the best. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hey, Boomer, how are you?
Hey, is the government still shut down?
Government is still shut down.
Open it up. Open. I want to get in. Why are you still closed?
Yeah, they are closed for business.
This is the channel you come to get the quirky historical information that you don't get anywhere else. Get it from us because we're old. We've been there.
It's very quirky.
Yeah.
All right, what's in the news today? Well,
what's in the news today? Yes, there's always news.
We have.
Oh boy, look at that guy.
An illegal alien police officer. Get out with your hands up, Frizz! Don't you move! Oh my God! Let's get a load of this. We don't need no. What is it?
We don't need no stinking patches.
That was your joke. I didn't want to steal it. All right, let's see what's going on.
Man, that's funny.
And of course, it's in Illinois.
Immigration Customs and Enforcement has just revealed in the last short time a police officer working in Illinois is an illegal immigrant.
A Hanover Park police officer accusing that officer of being an illegal alien for months.
He looks white. Doesn't he look white?
He's from Montenegro? He's a European. He's a European guy.
They're very light skinned there.
I guess I've never been there.
The agency says he was arrested during Operation Midway Blitz.
He graduated from the academy in August, but he has been living in the U.S. illegally for a decade after his
decade, man.
Decade. Illegally. And he's got the balls to become a cop.
Well, wouldn't you? You're in Chicago. I mean,
run for mayor, run for governor. You know, why not?
I've known a lot of guys who try to be cops and they couldn't pass some sort of test.
Yeah.
And this guy, wow.
With flying colors.
Look, his visa expired in 2015.
Yeah.
So before Trump even ran, he got here.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Tourist visa expired in 2015.
That's a tourist.
A tourist visa. You know, I got a friend.
Oh my God.
I got a friend I train with.
Yeah.
And he, like clockwork, once every 8 months, you know, he's like, hey, I got to get going. I'm going to be gone for a couple weeks. Where are you going? I'm going back home. I'm going to Spain. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got to, you know, it's the visa thing. I got to renew the visa. I think he has a worker's visa. He's gone for 2 weeks. He comes back and everything's good. You know, he's been doing that for 15 years. He's here on a work visa. Comes here, he works, then he goes back home, fills out the paperwork, and comes back. It's that easy. It's that simple. Let's see. Let's look what this dodo bird has to say.
Sure, the leadership of Illinois is super upset that an illegal was working as an officer, right?
A new law in Illinois is sparking a massive amount of criticism. Non-U.S. citizens can now apply to become a police officer.
It says that individuals who are not citizens but are legally authorized to work in the U.S. under federal law will be allowed to apply for jobs with police departments.
Can you imagine that you're an American citizen and you're detained, apprehended, and arrested by somebody who is foreign, who is not an illegal alien?
Exactly. How can this non-American citizen have that type of authority over American citizens?
You know what that's called? You know what that's called? That's called an invasion.
Oh, that's called a takeover. That's not just an invasion. They took over. I don't think the courts have ever addressed that. I can't remember. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know if that's ever come before the court.
Imagine I go to Japan and I say, freeze, come out with your hands up. Unbelievable.
If he makes an arrest, I don't know if he's ever made an arrest. Is that legal? Because
sure
how can a non-citizen that hasn't been granted the right of citizenship and all of its powers that come with it and the duties have the authority to, because when you make an arrest, Arthur, when I made an arrest, when I took somebody into custody, they gave him to us, we stripped him of his rights. He had very limited rights. We had the authority to do that. No,
Right.
you can't do that. I did it because I wore a badge. I took an oath, and it's in the law that I have the authority, and any cop has the authority to take your constitutional rights away from you or suspend them for a while.
Right.
Does he have that authority?
Well, apparently he does. Chicago, Illinois gave him that authority.
But
Opponents say the legislation would allow anyone who enters the U.S. illegally to apply for positions.
Well, it sounds like
Yeah, see, so they changed the law. I mean, they just told you right there. They changed the law so that anybody that comes over who applies and becomes a cop has that right to be a cop.
But is it constitutional, though?
No, of course it's not constitutional.
the opponents knew what they were talking about.
Some critics say giving a non-citizen the right to arrest a U.S. citizen is, quote, a breach of democracy.
Undocumented immigrants are not allowed to become police officers in the state of Illinois still.
Okay, so what about this?
I am tired of the right wing twisting these things. They put it out on Facebook. They tell lies. They attack based upon those lies. They're perpetuating lies. So there are people out there that think that we're just allowing anybody to become a police officer. That's just not accurate.
JB Pritzker, would you like to apologize to the based posters on Facebook? No? Well, believe it or not, this isn't the first illegal alien police officer arrested this year.
Breaking news out of Old Orchard Beach. A police officer there has been arrested by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. ICE's Enforcement and Removal Operations Unit in Boston says John Luke Evans was picked up in Biddeford after he illegally tried to buy a gun in Maine. The department.
Look, look,
illegally buying a gun. Good God.
Freeze, man! Get out of the car.
These are just the ones they've caught. How many? How many? You know, if you ever get arrested, one of your defense strategies should be: is this cop an American citizen?
Get out of the car.
That
lot
should
of
be,
mercy.
That should be a defense strategy. Prove that you're an American citizen, Mr. Policeman.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I would roll that dice if I was in Chicago for sure, or any blue state.
Anywhere, Arthur. Anywhere.
Well,
especially
I mean,
blue states.
Especially blue states. I mean, I guess you gotta give everything a try if you're in that position. Jesus. And you would think, well, I guess the other officers probably don't know. Or maybe they're a bunch of commies too. I don't know.
Department of Homeland Security says Evans is an illegal immigrant from Jamaica who overstayed his visa when he flew into Miami in September of 2023.
Whose fault is this?
Patricia Hyde, the field office director for ICE Boston, blasting the OLB Police Department, writing in part, quote, the fact that a police department would hire an illegal alien and unlawfully issue him a firearm while on duty would be comical if it weren't so tragic. We have a police department that was knowingly breaking the very law they are charged with enforcing in order to employ an illegal alien.
But the police chief isn't taking this one sitting down.
Old Orchard Police Chief Elise Chard is pushing back against ICE. She says Evans completed federal work authorization forms and that U.S. Department of Homeland Security verified that Evans was cleared to work in the U.S.
Chief Elise Chard writes, quote, as part of the hiring process, the town reviewed multiple forms of identification, including photo identification, and submitted Evans's I-9 form to the Department of Homeland Security's E-Verify program. The Department of Homeland Security then verified that Evans was authorized to work in the U.S. The form was submitted and approved by DHS on May 12, 2025. They also claim
So whose Homeland Security was that? Was that Biden's Homeland Security?
I guess.
I mean,
don't
it must
know.
have been. This is crazy. This is insane. Yeah,
Well,
Democrats are insane.
And don't tell me this isn't just one proof of the replacement theory. Don't tell me that isn't real. We are being replaced by illegal aliens.
Our trade skills.
Come on.
Our tradesmen have been replaced. That happened years ago. now law enforcement.
Mhm. And they want illegal aliens to be judges and doctors and lawyers and
Oh
this
yeah,
and
well,
that.
look, it makes sense. I mean, it makes complete total sense. You get an illegal judge, and they're gonna make all sorts of wacky judgments.
And he has a gun, Arthur.
That's right.
How many times did he pull it out? How many times did he discharge it? If he had shot somebody, if he had shot a black man, an unarmed black man, and they had rioted,
you never would have heard of it. It would have been a black police officer shoots a black suspect. It just would have been buried.
Okay. So
you
shoots
need
an
a white
unarmed black
police
guy.
officer.
He shoots an unarmed black guy. There's a big uproar, but they find out that he's an illegal alien. Is it quelled? Is that okay? Does that make it okay? Does that make it, oh, we'll take a pass?
I think these guys have been rolling the dice for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and who knows, that might actually, come to life. We might actually find out that there were officers that were illegal that had to draw their weapon and use it.
He is authorized to work in the United States until the year 2030.
She released a longer statement to us saying, quote, "We are distressed and deeply concerned about this apparent error on the part of the federal government. We intend to investigate this matter to determine."
You see how she immediately dumps it on the federal government?
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
But
these guys.
Why even take that chance? You are authorized. No, hire American citizens. Hire American citizens, and you won't take the risk. Why even take the risk of hiring someone who's maybe authorized? I don't know. We'll have to check. Why go through that extra hurdle?
Yeah.
Because they want to replace us. They want to replace us with them. That's all.
Yeah, they know all about this. They're not. I mean, look, they went and they had to submit the paperwork to Homeland Security. They know all about us, or all about this. I'll tell you one country that's on top of their immigration, and that's Mexico.
Oh,
Mexico, yeah, they don't put up with nothing.
Oh no.
Check this out. Mexico starts mass deportations of illegal migrants, deporting thousands to Central America.
Mexico has started mass deportations of illegal migrants, deporting thousands to Central America. Mexico making the move after President Donald Trump closed the U.S.-Mexico border. The closing led to an 85% plunge in illegal migrant entries through the U.S.-Mexico border in the first 8 months of the year, the lowest levels in half a decade. Mexico has realized that it cannot absorb the spillover from Biden-era open border policies, as more illegal migrants have been apprehended in Mexico than by U.S. agents in recent months.
Yeah.
Here are some of the moves being made by Mexico. Mass deportations to Central America.
No se puede, no se puede.
Back to Guatemala.
No se puede.
And direct repatriations. Thousands are now being stopped before heading north through Mexico. Mexico is rejecting non-Mexican migrants, saying they are not a waiting room and will not foot the bill for illegals.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Never thought of that. Yeah. That's insane.
Arthur, the money ran out.
Let me get this straight. So Mexico cannot absorb the cost.
Yes.
But I guess we can.
Yeah, of course. It was a funneling network. They were getting a cut. The Mexican government was getting a don't you think that the Mexican government was getting a cut from the cartels for smuggling all those people here in the United States? Of course they were.
Yeah.
But now that the money dried out, the Trump closed the border. There's no more coyotes, no more drugs, human smuggling. They don't get any more money.
Yeah.
Let's get the hell out of here. And besides, Mexicans hate El Salvadorans. They can't stand Guatemalans. They detest Venezuelans. This whole thing that we're Latinos, we're Hispanicos. Bullshit. I don't give a fuck about Puerto Ricans. The guy's a Cuban. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't talk like, papi, coño, everybody. I don't give a fuck about the Caribbean accent. Do I have a Caribbean accent? No, I've got a Mexican Southwestern accent. You know, the Chicano movement is very Southwestern American.
And that's it.
And that's it. This whole thing that oh, it's a Latino. What is he? Well, he's El Salvadoran. He's not my Latino. This whole notion that everybody thinks that we're all the same. No, we're not.
It's funny how when the jig is up, everything stops. You know, there was a bunch of monkey business going around during the whole Biden era. No more drugs coming into our country.
And Mexicans from Mexico, they can't stand El Salvadorans. They can't stand Guatemalans.
Mexicans can't stand El Salvadorians. They can't stand Guatemala. They hate black people. Mexicans are very isolationist.
It's called La Patria, the patriotism, La Patria. It's all over Mexico. It's in their language. It's in their history. They teach it in class. The patriotism, La Patria, Mexicana Patria. They wrap themselves around the eagle flag. They tell stories about it, which they should. I mean, every country has the right to tell their national stories, but Mexicans take it to heart. You know?
Right. So let's dive into this. We have another judge. Biden appointed judge releases suspects who attacked Doge's big balls. You remember that one staffer, that Doge staffer, was walking his girlfriend into the car.
That was Washington, D.C., right?
That was in Washington, D.C. It was what sparked the whole National Guard going over there. And a bunch of kids, I'm not going to say they're black because I'm not even sure, but a bunch of kids jumped him. They tried to carjack his girlfriend and he defended her and they beat the piss out of him. So they go to court and this black judge decides, you know what? They'd be better off in the streets than in prison. Let's hear.
Superior Court Judge Kendra Briggs, who was nominated by Joe Biden in 2021, has ordered the release of 2 suspects charged with the violent assault and attempted carjacking of Edward Corestein, aka Big Boss.
Look at that. Look at his face is busted. His nose is broken. I've been in that position before. What it does to you mentally, first, you're in pain. You're in a lot of pain. Your bones are broken. And then what hits you next, you wouldn't really think that it would happen. But what hits you next is you go through this massive depression. What a beating does to you mentally and physically, it's awful. It's awful. I mean, you don't know if this kid is going to go into this massive depression and commit suicide in a couple of weeks for what these kids did to him. They beat the piss out of him. Look, his t-shirt's off. He's covered in blood. There needs to be accountability for what they did to him.
Big Boss, a 19-year-old former staffer at Doge. The attack happened earlier this month when a gang of about 8 to 12 teenagers attacked Corestein and his girlfriend while they were
8 to 12 people.
How can you defend yourself against that?
You know, you put your hands up and you try not to get hit. You throw when the opportunity comes and you do your best. But no, 12 people, you're going to suffer a lot of damage. There's no way getting around that. And plus, he's in a blue state. You go to any red state where you can open carry. This stuff doesn't happen.
Yeah, even when you need a gun. 8 to 12 people, you need a gun.
Oh man, you look at this stuff didn't happen during the Old West. You had shootouts, but you didn't have beatings like this. You carried a gun.
I can't remember that. I can't remember. Maybe we did.
No, how are you gonna jump a guy with a gun on his hip? You just stay away. You're like, nah, the guy's gonna shoot me.
Right there, I remember seeing the congressional hearing, the Senate hearings, on judges, on Biden judges, because we were in the minority. The Republicans were in the minority, and I remember seeing Ted Cruz and that guy Kennedy from Louisiana or Mississippi from somewhere down south, and they were ripping these judges apart. Of course, they all got confirmed because the Democrats were in the majority, and you should have seen these judges. They were What's Article 5 of the Constitution? Well, I don't know. Oh, you don't know? Okay. What is a woman? I don't know. You know.
Yeah, these people, they look like they sounded like stupid college students.
Yeah. Yeah.
Progressive
What's the Constitution say? I don't know. I haven't read it. Oh my God.
Yeah, but Biden, as long as you were a woman and as long as you were black, you got the job.
Yeah.
That was Biden's 4 years.
And then, did you declare allegiance to Hamas and ISIS? I guess so. Confirmed.
Oh,
Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
What about this Twitter post where you said, Hamas ain't that bad?
Yeah.
Did you? Well, what I was feeling was, and maybe the Jews did deserve it, and then boom, you're confirmed.
Yeah.
They were standing next to their vehicle. Corstein tried to save his girlfriend by pushing her inside of the car and locking it just before the mob of teens attacked him, giving him a concussion, a broken nose, a black eye, and bruises. Patrolling officers arrived halfway through the assault and were able to catch two 15-year-old suspects from Maryland, while the rest escaped. Judge Briggs is known for her soft-on-crime approach that critics say favors releases and...
Look at this woman. She's got the braids. She's black. The job is yours. And they are such a cult. Look at this woman behind her with the mask. They really are just a cult.
Arthur,
and reduced detention.
This affirmative action stuff, you got the job because you're black, you got the job because you're gay, you got the job because you're a woman, demeans blacks, demeans women, demeans whoever. It demeans you.
Everybody looks at you and they look at you and they're like, well, that person probably didn't deserve the job.
And she didn't, because she released them. That proves to me that you were not qualified. You got the job because you were a black woman. And you're not supposed to get that job because you're a black woman. That's not the way we work.
Well, you could get the
we're
job.
A meritocracy.
Right. And if you have the good merit for that job, and if you have the good merit for that job and you're a black woman, by all means, go for it. But that's not the case here.
Remember the job hirings at the school districts? Remember those job hirings? The fix was always in, Arthur. Remember that? You had I remember one time the maintenance chief of maintenance came up.
All right.
And I was in the office. And you had people with 20 years of construction work, people who own their own construction companies coming in and filling the application. But guess the fix was already in. They gave it to that other custodian guy over there because he knows the superintendent. His mother works in the department. He got the job already.
Yeah, but
he didn't know shit.
That wasn't because of skin color. That was who you knew.
Yeah, but that's the same thing.
Pretty much.
You hired a dumbass who doesn't know what he's doing compared to these guys who have 20 years of construction work. And that happened all the time in the school district.
I remember I went in for a job and I had a D1.1 license, so welder's license. I went to school for it. I went to school for like 2 years for it. I also had a national welder's license, meaning I could weld anywhere in the country. And the D1.1 is the one you wanted because it proved that you were up to all the codes that happened after the 94 earthquake. And I went in there, I plopped my D1.1 down, I plopped my national license down, and I looked at them and I said, look, man, I'm hungry for this. I promise you, you won't be sorry. I will be the hardest worker you've ever seen. And they gave it to some clown. Trust me, he didn't have what I had. Mm-hmm. And he's from what I heard, he's still there to this day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Real good friends with the boss.
Yeah, well, there you go. It's the same thing. Black woman, she's qualified. Why? What makes her qualified? The pigment in her skin makes her qualified. The pigment in the skin read all the laws and the law books. The pigment in her skin, her ovaries.
Biden looked at that camera when it came to the Supreme Court justice pick, and he said, "I am picking No. It was the vice president pick. He said, I am picking a woman and she's going to be black. He told America that. He looked right into the camera and said that.
Detention for juveniles, even in violent cases. In 2023, she sentenced 3 teenagers to 3 years for shooting and killing a father of 4 during a carjacking.
Guys, okay, so she gave 2 murderers 3 years in prison for shooting and murdering a father in a carjacking. Wow. What do you do as the victim? What do? You just live with that?
How do you want me to support Democrats by that? How do Democrats expect me to give them any support when they give me that? 3 years for taking away a father, destroying an entire families.
For life.
For life.
Your life will never be the same. Dad's gone.
And the Democrats want me to support you? How do you expect it?
Yeah. And it's almost like they close their eyes and their ears to this shit. You know, they don't.
Well, of course they do. They vote for that. They have to close their eyes and ears and their hearts to that. You talk about the party of empathy. Where's the empathy? A father was just murdered. 4 children are now orphaned. Where's the empathy, Mrs. Kamala Harris, Mrs. whatever, Joe Biden, whatever, Mr. California Democrat?
And you know, I wonder if those 2 teens were black, because if they were, now I'm thinking this is complete racism. She's letting them off because they're black. She's letting them off because black people have had a hard time in America for many, many years. So now it's time for payback.
She's letting them off. She's letting them off because they're future Democratic voters. That's why she's letting them off.
Well, can you vote with the felony? Maybe in this state.
In 2024, she sentenced a teenager to 3 years for helping to beat 64-year-old Reggie Brown to death by stomping on him while he lay on the ground.
Wow. She released a guy for beating to death a 64-year-old man.
An old man.
Look at this woman.
And you want me to be a Democrat. Great. Yeah, no. And you vote Democrat. Yeah.
Not only that, but they stand on this high horse and they look down on you.
Yeah.
They look at you like filth. They look at you as a racist supremacist.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They have so much more virtue than you. Look at me. I just got a guy off scot-free who brutally beat to death an elderly man.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
She allowed another teenage girl to plead guilty to simple assault and the same fatal beating, resulting in a 4-year sentence. In addition, Briggs convicted a teen on a gun possession charge instead of murder in 2023 after the shooting that killed an innocent bystander named Dale Henson.
That's what you need to know in Dallas.
Wow. Democratic judges.
Arthur, the one of the solutions to the crime problem is mass incarceration.
Bring back everybody. 3 strikes, you're outlaw. Everything was working just fine with the 3 strikes or outlaw.
Absolutely.
And then they got rid of it.
Mass incarceration.
Yeah.
We gotta lock these people up by the millions.
Yeah, that way they can't hurt you.
Mm-hmm. No, but all my life I've heard, mass incarceration, the war on drugs. They locked up too many black people, blah, 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 smoking joints on the... No. You got to lock all these people up, put them away.
It's very simple. If you have a violent crime, you need to put that violent criminal in jail for a considerable sentence. There's got to be some kind of deterrent.
And you're right. The 3 strikes law was working. It was working
so well. It was working so well. And then you got the liberals come out and, oh no, they're all people of color, that those are the ones that are being put in prison, and you're breaking up the families were already broken up with LBJ assistance. They were already, the fathers were already kicked out of the house. No, you know, I'm sorry that you stole some sneakers when you were a kid, and then you decided to steal a car, and then you decided to brutally beat somebody.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You're in jail. You can't be in normal society with normal people. You're incapable of that. Oh my God. Speaking of well, let's finish out another black judge because I got another one. Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Oh,
Apparently, Ketanji Brown Jackson, who doesn't know what a woman is, referred to black Americans as being disabled. Let's see what she has to say.
Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson seemed to refer to black Americans as disabled during a hearing. Lifetime appointment.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Folks, lifetime.
Congress passed the Americans with Disabilities Act against the backdrop of a world that was generally not accessible to people with disabilities. And so it was discriminatory in effect because these folks were not able to access these buildings. I guess I don't understand why that's not.
How stupid. What a dumb analogy.
Arthur, these are the same people. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I bet she thinks she's so smart. I bet she's like, ooh, I got them on this. Go ahead.
Yeah, she does. She does. Listen to her voice. Listen to her inflection. These are the same people that told me and you we were too stupid to find the Department of Motor Vehicles to get a license.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I told all the blacks that, you know, I remember when this first came out, voter ID, and all the blacks and Hispanics were in favor of, you voter ID. And I confronted them. I go, you really think that you're calling me too stupid to find the DMV? The big building on the corner of 20th and Colorado? You don't think I know where it is? I can't go to the DMV, get a fucking license because we're idiots?
The scam is,
I guess so.
The scam is so blatant. It's like, come on, man. You want it so that people don't need a driver's license to vote. That's what's going on.
And she's comparing. I remember when George Bush Sr. signed the ADA. He was concerned that buildings, the structure of buildings. Remember when the guy in the wheelchair did that stunt? He got off the wheelchair and he went up. He crawled, dragged himself up the building because there was no ramps. Remember that stunt?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, okay, we got to build ramps for the wheelchair people. That was the initial intent of the ADA, for access, ramping, sidewalks and ramping for access to the buildings. We got access to the goddamn voting booth. We've had access to the freaking voting booth for hundreds of years. What is she talking about?
Well, let's finish.
It's not what's happening here. The idea is that we are responding to current day manifestations of past and present decisions that disadvantage minorities and make it so that they don't have equal access to the voting system.
They do have equal access. You just go and vote.
You live in California. 125,000% of blacks vote Democrat. They have access to the goddamn system. They're making your life miserable by voting Democrat all the time. That's access to the. I wish I could cut the system off to keep them from voting Democrat all the time. But the system is like they have access to the system. Latinos vote Democrat, blacks vote Democrat, gays vote Democrat. Everybody.
The system is out of control. Voting should be done by household. I always get pegged as a chauvinist, but I don't think women should vote. I don't think some men should vote. I think there are just a lot of people that are just too dumb to vote. I think voting should be done by household. It's out of control.
What does she mean that we don't have access to the voting system? My God, they're about to vote for a fucking communist in goddamn New York. We voted for a communist in Los Angeles, Karen Bass. What are you talking about? But she's still stuck with the victim mentality.
And that concludes today's
system, right? They're disabled. In fact, we use the word disabled.
And that concludes today's lesson on.
She said they're disabled.
Disabled.
There you go, people. There you go.
Psychologically, they're disabled.
There you go, Black Americans. Ketanji Brown Jackson said that you are disabled.
And so are Hispanics. Embracing the Chicano movement, embracing the Cholo movement and all that shit.
You know,
calling us a goddamn sellout.
You know who's really disabled are white liberal women. They're very disabled. Yeah. Yep.
My God. Mentally, psychologically, yeah.
You mentioned the mayoral race, the communists in New York. Let's see what's going on. They had a debate last night. Look at Cuomo.
Cuomo. I mean,
he's just sweating.
Yeah, he wants to grab a girl's ass.
He's all, that woman in the front looks pretty hot.
Yeah.
And this is not a job for someone who has no management experience to run 300,000 people, no financial experience to run $115 billion budget. He literally has never had a job. On his resume, it says he interned for his mother. This is not a job for a first-timer. Any day, you could have a hurricane, you have, God forbid, a 9/11, a health pandemic. If you don't know what you're doing, people could die.
Mr. Mamdani, you want to respond?
And if we have a health pandemic, then why would New Yorkers turn back to the governor who sent seniors to their death in nursing homes? That's the kind of experience that's on offer here today. What I don't have an experience, I make up for in integrity. And what you don't have in integrity, you could never make up for in experience.
Yeah. You're not a Democrat.
Uh-oh. He got him there. He got him there with the seniors being left for dead in the nursing home. Uh-oh. Look at this guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's all, I would have just shot the seniors. I would have made it real easy.
I would have started like Stalin.
like Mao.
Like Mao. I would have had the great leap forward until March. That's what he would have done.
You have Cuomo. You have a guardian angel.
Yeah.
What's his name? The guardian angel?
Silva.
Yeah. You have Cuomo. You've got a Democrat, you got a guardian angel, and a communist.
Mm-hmm.
Let's listen. This is funny. This was a really good debate. This was insane.
A Democrat, right? You're not a Democrat. You're a Democratic socialist.
We have
you didn't vote for Kamala Harris, right?
We have other ground.
Look at the guardian angel. I'd like to beat the crap out of both these guys. I can take both these guys out. Oh yeah, that guy's a tough bastard, man. He's been punching mattresses in alleys for 30, 40 years.
Oh no, he's been fighting the real gangsters for 40 years.
You used to see him practice in the alleyways.
Yeah.
They'd use old mattresses and they'd kick and punch. They were always, they were badass, the guardian angels. Remember Daniel Penny who killed Michael Jackson in the subway?
Yeah.
These guys did it on a daily basis.
Oh yeah.
Grab the cover. No. We have other ground cover.
That's an incendiary charge. I want to be very.
You may have a chance to address it, but we do.
I'll be very
quick. A lot
quick.
of issues to get to with New Yorkers.
I'll be very quick.
You didn't say leave it blank in the Kamala
I'll be very
campaign?
quick. I said leave it blank in the presidential primary because primaries are a place to air dissent. And like many Americans, I was horrified by the Israeli genocide of Palestinians. And if you want to look for me on the ballot, you'll find me as the Democrat.
Mr. Mamdani.
The difference.
What does that have to do with running the city of New York, Israeli genocide and all that shit? What does that have to do with running the city of New York? What does that have to do with voting for Kamala Harris? What does that have to do with that? He's a freaking Muslim, a goddamn terrorist supporting Muslim, Islamist communist. And they're going to vote for him in droves. And people don't have access to the system?
Hey, they did it in California with Karen Bass. And California, there's no other place on earth that's like California except for the south of France.
Yeah.
California is a shithole right now. You know, you go to the coast of Southern California all the way to San Francisco, and it's a shithole.
And it ain't coming back. Because once Palisades and half of Malibu burn to the ground, you're done. And they're going to put Section 8 housing all throughout the coast of Southern California in the beautiful. You're done. Your gangsters are going to overwhelm it. It's over. California is done. Get out. While you still got a chance.
Well, I'm not going to say that it's impossible for it to come back, but even if it does come back, you're looking at generations and generations. It's not going to be back anytime soon.
A Republican conservative will have to take the entire state over. We'll have to go into march in Sacramento and take it over to bring it back.
And all the Democrat politicians have to be removed. Every single one of them. The damage has been so severe.
Like the police, that's why he won't hire more police when everyone else says we need more police. He wants to use social workers on domestic violence calls, which are very dangerous. And he's told you.
Yeah, Mandani doesn't like cops, does he? He wants to defund them.
He's a communist. All communists hate cops. They want to shut down prisons. They want to shut down the police departments. They want to get rid of cops. They want to get rid of the family. They want to take your property. They want to take away your house. They want to take away your rental properties.
Remember the people with green T-shirts and whistles that they replaced the cops with in 2020? Whatever happened to those people?
Oh, the ambassadors?
The ambassadors.
They're gone, Arthur. They're gone. They're all gone.
They're gone. What happened to them?
They got stabbed too many times.
Oh my God. You gotta love a whistle. A good whistle can stop any perp.
Told you what he thinks. He thinks the police are racist, wicked, corrupt, and a threat to public safety.
Thank you.
Those are his words.
Very quick. Mr. Mamdani, very quick.
Look, Andrew Cuomo is a politician of the past, and all he can speak about are the tweets of the past in 2020. Those are tweets which I have apologized for to New Yorkers and police officers directly, and they are not what I am actually running on.
No,
but you're
you
incapable of actually speaking about the platform that we have here.
Yeah, that's how he felt in 2020. That's not how he feels now.
Which is one that will keep New Yorkers safe.
Can we just quickly ask you, because I think what some people feel they haven't heard from you, we hear you saying that you don't believe that anymore and you've apologized. People have not heard you sort of describe the evolution of your thought, how you got from there.
Look at them covering for him. Again, white liberal woman.
It's a very democratic area.
Look at her. Tell us what you meant. I mean, tell us what you really were thinking, and you know you did apologize. So just tell us.
To be a Republican in New York City is very dangerous.
Yeah, to be a Republican in California is very dangerous too.
Yeah.
To hear.
You know, growing up in this city, I would think often about safety and justice, and the ways.
This guy was a rich kid. This guy was born into wealth.
Yeah.
This guy has never had to worry about safety.
So he's talking about growing up on the mean streets of New York City? Is that what he's trying to tell me? The mean streets?
Yeah, this guy was a wealthy kid.
In which that relationship has been irrevocably harmed. When I learned about the exonerated five, when I learned about Sean Bell, when I learned about Eric Garner, when I learned about Michael Brown. And then in 2020, when I wrote these tweets, learning about the death of George Floyd.
Oh my God. Bunch of criminals.
He's not answering the question.
No,
go. Let me see what else he's got to say.
He's throwing out a bunch of,
red meat for the communists. That's what they want to hear.
Yeah, but
and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And that was a moment where it felt as if the distance between these two ideals had never been further. And in becoming an assembly member and serving and representing more than 100,000 people in Queens, learning that to deliver justice means to also deliver safety. And that means leading a city where you recognize the bravery of the men and women who joined the NYPD and put their lives on the line. Yeah. It means representing the Muslims who were illegally served.
That's all you need to hear. George Floyd was a junkie. George Floyd was a junkie.
Arthur, the question was, do you support, what are you going to do for the NYPD? Do you support them? What are you going to do for them? and he gave a speech about George Floyd.
Right. They're Democrat. They're Democrat talking points. Michael Brown, George Floyd. Hands up, don't shoot. I can't breathe.
That's what he's going to do to the cops.
Yeah.
He's going to George Floyd them. That's funny. And they're going to vote for him in droves, Arthur. He's going to win by a landslide. A landslide. You just watch.
Well, the guardian angel won't drop out. He's like,
why
no,
should he? Why would he?
Well,
You know?
so you make it easier for Cuomo to win. That's
Arthur,
why.
Even if Sliwa drops out, Cuomo ain't going to win. He going to do crap. Mondami's going to and you don't think the rig is in? You don't think that their elections are just as corrupt as California's and Chicago's?
I don't know. What I'm saying is his chances would be better if he dropped out, and he's not doing it.
Arthur, the fix is in. The fix is in. Mondami's going to win no matter if they got to stop the ballot.
The fix is in. Yeah, who knows? I don't know. I can't prove that, man.
Yeah,
I can't prove it. I can't prove it. Can you prove it?
I can prove, like and subscribe, man. Like and subscribe.
There you go. Like and subscribe.
That's what I can prove.
I wish you could prove it. I mean, I said that till I was blue in the face in the 2020 election, and nobody wanted to listen to me. Nobody wanted to listen.
Oh, what do you want? A cookie? You want a prize? You want a medal? Huh? Is that what you want?
Well, to end out the show, we're going to watch a blooper.
Oh.
Here we go. This guy, man.
What's he doing there?
I know. So the average age of a U.S. senator is 64. The average age of a U.S. House rep is 57. The average age in America is 39. And you got old Mitch here who refuses to leave. Essentially, he's a walking corpse. He's a puppet. They need him there. Okay, let's watch. Watch that again. Oh, man. Get him up. Come on, Mitch. We got some papers to sign.
He doesn't even know what day it is. He doesn't even know where he's at.
Look at him.
Jesus Christ, man. Replace the guy. Just...
Yeah.
Well, Dianne Feinstein, she died at the Senate floor. Basically, she was dead. She was paralyzed.
Yeah.
And they still had her in the wheelchair. What am I signing?
Yeah, an old person, like a simple fall like that, I'm surprised he's not in the hospital. I mean, an old person falls like that, and it can cause so much damage.
But Arthur, who votes for these guys again? And he's been there for 50 years. Biden was in Congress for 50 years. Yeah. People vote for these sons of bitches again and again. You couldn't outvote Pelosi. I remember when you couldn't outvote Barbara Boxer. You couldn't outvote Dianne Feinstein. They live there.
Well, you're the one that said the fix was in. So are people voting for him, or is the fix in?
Both, I guess.
It's got to be.
Why can't you vote out Mitch McConnell? Why is that so difficult? Why can't you vote out by all these people that have been there for 1,000 years? You can't vote them out?
Yeah. Crazy.
That's up to the people that vote for them again and again and again.
Right. All right, everybody. Well, we are out of here. Thanks for watching.
Like and subscribe.
He always does it. Please like, share, and subscribe. Boomer, I will see you. We will be back later this week. Be good, be well, and multiply. Boomer.